All right, let's see if this is better. Okay guys, so sorry, some technical difficulties. I couldn't get the screen to switch anyways, so I think it's okay now. Let's try this again. So today's lesson is going to be about grammar tenses and when to use which tense. So today our focus will be on the simple tenses, okay? So make sure that you can see. Okay. All right, so we are going to focus on things today like simple present, simple past, and simple future. And we are going to learn when to use these tenses, how to use them, as well as pronunciation. So we have things, for example, the present tense, we do things like we add an S or an ES, and some people aren't sure when to add the S, when to add the ES. So I'll go over some of those rules. Once again, just really quickly to introduce myself, my name is Monica, and I am from the United States. I am an American English teacher, and I'm from Los Angeles, California, and I've been teaching English as a second language for quite some time now, quite a few years. So we can get into this lesson. So first of all, let's talk about the simple present tense. Okay, yes, I'm here again. So when do we use the simple present tense? Okay, there are a couple of times that we are going to use the present simple tense. So the first one is going to be okay, so the first rule for when we use the simple present tense, actually let me put this here. Okay. Is going to be for things that are true in general. So when we make statements like, I like ice cream. So this is something that is true in general. This is just a general statement, something true. It can be a negative statement. She doesn't like. Okay, true statement in general. So this is one instance that you're going to use this verb tense, okay? So with this construction, when we use it in the affirmative state, so the affirmative state is agreeing, or we also call it the positive. And this is when you agree that something is true, okay? You agree that something is true. Okay, so we do this when we use this. The only thing that changes, we've got the subject, the verb, okay? The only thing that is going to change from the infinitive of the verb is we're going to add an S or an ES to the verb, okay? So we'll take this verb like. with the subjects I, you, they, we, we're just going to use this. Now with this, the he, she, it, and they, we're going to add the S or the ES, okay? So, likes. Now, there's different questions about how to pronounce this, okay? So if you have an S or an ES, how do you pronounce it? Do you pronounce the S like a S sound, like the C? S, or do you pronounce it like a Z? Z. Okay, so let's take the word dogs. Okay, and let me actually switch this word because likes already ends with an E. Okay, so here we have, shut the door, baby. Here we have the cats and dogs. Okay, so the cats ends with this C-like sound, and dogs ends with the Z. Nolly, the bedroom door, not that one. Okay, so this one has a Z sound, dogs, and then cats. So we have something in English called, let's see, called, here, we'll focus on this pronunciation really quickly. Okay, so we have something in English called voiced and unvoiced, okay? Okay. Unvoiced is when a consonant does not produce a vibration in the throat or neck. So you can see unvoiced sounds with things like the letter T. When you produce the sound of the letter T, and you touch your throat, you can see that it does not cause a vibration. Similar for the letter S. P does not. Okay, these are called unvoiced consonants. Now let's come over here and look at voiced. A voiced consonant will produce a vibration in the neck, okay? So we will have letters like B, D, G, J. Okay, all of these produce a vibration in the neck. B, J, K. When the ending consonant of the word is unvoiced, we will add the S that makes the S sound, okay? This is a really important English pronunciation rule that you want to memorize this, okay? It makes the S sound. When it is voiced, it will make the Z-like sound. Dog is voiced, so we have the Z sound, okay? So now let's do some more practice. Walk is another example. The K is unvoiced. So we are going to add the S. Walks. It makes a S sound, okay? Let's see another word that ends in a voiced. This N is voiced, so we will have the S sound that ends like Z. Warns, warns, warns. Okay, so walks, warns. All right, how about let's take the word pat. Can you guys tell me, what will this S sound end in? You guys can write it in the comments. what will this S sound make? Will it be a Z-like S, or a C-like S? You guys can write it in the comments, okay? Let me see. So someone says the C-like. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at this consonant. Is this consonant voiced or unvoiced? Because this guy is going to determine what sound this one makes. So the T is a T, no vibration. So it's going to end with the S, like pats. Let's see, let's come over here. Maybe I should go on different sides. We'll do one more and then I'll switch them up for you guys. Do like a little quiz. Okay, let's see. What's a word? How about this one? Is this voiced or unvoiced? And then here we go, lands. Okay, now let's get rid of this. All right, so we're just doing very basic sentence construction, okay? So we're putting these sentences together. This is very, the simple tense, but I think that pronunciation is incredibly important. When you're, creating these sentences, you want to be able, people want to understand, and then you want to feel confident when you're speaking. So knowing when to produce which sound is going to help build that confidence in you. It's going to eliminate confusion when you're talking. Sometimes if you're speaking with a native speaker, they might say, what was that? What did you say? And some people, might feel embarrassed. So I think that this is important to learn because it will help to eliminate that kind of confusion. Does it still have the T sound in the word pets? Oops. Pets. So yes, it does. However, with American English, we tend to cut off sounds at the end, especially when it has a T. And we call this a T stop. So we call this a stop in linguistics. So for example, the word pat, okay, pats. The word bat, okay, and then bet. So in English, these are called stops, a T stop, okay? And what that means is that when we pronounce these sounds, we almost cut them off so they stop. So I'll take the word pat, okay? So a Native American, I'll say it like this, pat, pat. I don't say pat, 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 okay? We don't say these, we say pat. Pats, okay, we don't really say pats, we say pats, pats. So you don't really hear the T in there, pats. It's kind of like a tss, a TS sound, a blend, pats, okay? Pet, okay, we'll say pet, and then we'll say pets, we don't say pets, it's a blend. We blend these two letters, pets, and then pet. Here's the word bet, bat, okay? So that's just some pronunciation tips. So that's that, okay? Now, one last thing before we move on. I want to explain to you guys also, because in English, we also add this ES guy, okay? We add this ES guy because some words, well, you can just memorize some of it. In general, okay, in general, words that end in CH, so watch, march, I have a list that I've written down over here, and then SH, oops, okay, so here we go. These types of words are going to end with the ES at the end, okay, ES. So we have marches, brushes, okay, marches, brushes. So this is also just a really good rule. This will end with that Z, brushes, marches, brushes, march, okay, bushes, it has that Z sound, watches, he watches TV way too much. Okay, so there are some really good pronunciation rules, as well as when to add the ES, the S, and so on. So now that we spend some time, does anyone have any questions, first of all? Do you guys have any questions? Wash, good, wash. Wash becomes washes with the Z, washes. Do you guys have any questions about any of what we just went over? Go ahead and write them in the comments if you have any questions with regards to this, adding the S, ES, yeah, just those, okay? Caches, good, cash becomes caches with the Z, caches. Please write them. If you guys have questions about this, now's the time to ask. If not, then we'll just move on. Nothing? Okay. Good. All right. So, in general, let's go back to the simple present. Okay, so as I stated before, we're going to use this tense with information or things that are true, okay, that are generally true. Now we're also going to use it with routines and habits, okay? Routines and habits. We use this with routines and habits, things that we do usually, often, all the time. Some things that are consistent, okay? So when we add the S or ES, we have one exception to this, and that is the to be, all right? And I'm sure that most of you guys probably know this, but we're gonna make this to be the are, am, okay, the are and the am is. So that's pretty much the only exception to this rule. So let's go over some of these, all right? Habits. Okay, so let's look at some habits. Things that are true or habits. All right, so I mentioned before, I like ice cream. This is the, we'll just do this, okay? This is a positive sign, meaning that you're agreeing with it. It's affirmative, so positive. All right, now, when we do the negative, all right, let's see. Let's just go like this, okay? When we do the negative, we're just gonna have the subject plus don't or doesn't, and then the verb. Okay, so make sure that you guys don't confuse these, all right? Because I do hear some people learning English, they'll say something like, she don't, and they use don't for everything, and this is just totally wrong. She doesn't. All right, so that's a mistake that I see a lot of people make. She don't, he don't. People will understand you. This isn't going to affect someone's understanding of what you're trying to say. That's not going to be an issue. However, it is grammatically incorrect with English, and I want I want to teach you guys to speak grammatically correct, pronounce things correctly. So try to avoid this, okay? She don't, he don't, it don't. No, 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 okay? It is doesn't. This is correct. Incorrect. All right. So with this, we'll go with, let's see. Don't listen. All right? Classmates, don't listen. My mom doesn't like to drive. Okay, my mom doesn't. So we're not gonna say my mom don't. My mom don't like to drive. I will share with you guys, in some parts of the United States, certain regions in the US, there are some people that speak like this. My mom don't like to drive. She don't this. And generally speaking, they are considered to be less educated people, and it's just sort of a regional accent, but it does come with a negative stereotype and a negative view. So this is US culture. This is something that is sort of known. So, but for you guys, students of English, it's best to just learn the proper way and not to copy people that speak incorrectly. Okay. And then always, 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 whenever we ask a question, we're gonna put that verb first, okay? So we're gonna do we'll ask a question, and we're gonna put that, does she work late? Do you speak Spanish? Okay, so we are going to take that does and don't, and we're gonna make it positive and put it at the front. Let's see here. Okay, so that is basically, so we've got this does and do plus the subject, plus the verb, okay? Does, do, and then the subject and the verb. So that will be like the formula for the asking a question sentence, okay? So let's go ahead and let's take a look at this. Oh, you know what? Let me actually do this too. Does she like, okay. So let's go ahead now and look at all of these side by side, okay? So we're gonna take this. So we're gonna do my friend reads a lot. And in another lesson, we'll go over when to use a lot, a little, much, many, okay? Because there are also certain grammar rules that you can memorize in order to know when to use much, many, a lot, a little, and so forth, okay? So here we have the positive or the affirmative. Okay, so positive, affirmative. My friend reads a lot. What does the negative? Let's do the negative. How is that going to look? Negative. My friend doesn't read a lot. So here we have the subject, the verb. Okay, that's it. We just got these two. You can even say my friend reads. Okay, so with the negative, hold on, I just want to make sure I'm not missing your questions. Okay, with the negative, we have subject plus this does or doesn't verb, okay? Subject, does or doesn't, verb. And then what about a question? Let's make this a question. Does my friend read a lot? Here's our question. So now we're going to start with the does or doesn't plus the subject plus the verb. Does or doesn't my friend read a lot? Does my friend read a lot? So we have the does or doesn't here, okay? So now let's have you guys do some of this, okay? So we'll go like this, this. Okay. We'll do one more example. The teachers meet once a week. So that means one time a week. One time a week, okay? Once a week. So here we have again the subject with our verb. All right, let's do the negative. How would we set up the negative? Do you guys want to comment? Go ahead and write in the comments, guys. And I can read them. Negative. So we're going to take this sentence, the teachers meet once a week, and we're going to make it negative or not true. So here we have this is a true statement. Okay, the teachers meet. Good. So you wrote doesn't meet. Okay, so you wrote the teachers doesn't meet, don't meet. Okay, so I'm seeing both. The teachers, I'm seeing you guys are writing doesn't and you're writing don't. Okay, so we need subject verb agreement here. We need the subject and the verbs to agree. So some of you guys have written the teachers don't meet, the teachers, okay, it's plural, okay? The teacher don't meet. So because it's plural, we're gonna go with the teachers don't. We have don't. The plural is gonna take the don't verb form. The teachers don't meet, or sorry, the don't, here's the verb. We're gonna do the teachers don't meet, okay? Because it's plural. Now if it was one, a teacher, the teacher, we're going to say doesn't. It's singular. But because it's plural, we're going to use don't. It's the third person plural. The teachers don't meet. The teacher doesn't. Exactly, because it isn't more than, because it's more than one. Correct, it's plural. This is singular, so we're going to do doesn't. So, good. You know what's great about this, you guys, is that when you make mistakes like this, you're learning, so it's really actually great. for those of you who put doesn't, even though it wasn't the correct verb or the correct agreement, it's good because now you've just learned that you were probably saying that incorrectly, and now you know the correct way to say it. So let's take another one, the students. All right, so what do you think, guys? We have the plural again, okay? So it's gonna do the same thing. The students, we're gonna come over here to this guy. Don't learn. Well, in this case, you guys are learning, but we're talking about other students that aren't learning with me. They don't learn, but you guys learn. So those other students that aren't here, those students, plural, don't learn. Those students don't learn, okay? Now let's do this too. Does it mean that teachers, okay, so the students don't learn. What if it's just the student? The student, singular, we're gonna do doesn't learn. The student doesn't learn, okay? You want these to agree. There was another one that I wanted to do with you guys. Oh, like, don't like, okay. So let's do some affirmative ones because I can see that some of you might need a little bit of practice with this, and that's great. Practice is perfect. I think use some of teachers is better than the teachers. It depends. Some of the okay, so it depends on the sentence. You can use either. You can say, the teachers. You can say, wait, what did you say? Hold on. The teachers, oh, some of the teachers. Elias, you have to do it yourself, honey. I'm teaching. Okay, so let's do, will the time be able to talk about the difference between the past perfect and the present perfect? Yes, we will have a lesson about that, absolutely, yes. We'll talk about when to use the past perfect, present perfect, continuous, past continuous, present continuous. We'll definitely talk about the had, have, had, and the have, plus the past participle and all that fun stuff, and been and all that. So we will go over that. I do know that some of this stuff maybe you guys already know. It was more of knowing when to use these, when to use the simple present tense, and this lesson is a little lengthy just focusing on this because I added some pronunciation because I feel that that's also something really important. I've taught students from China, from Taiwan, Brazil, France, Spain, Saudi Arabia, literally all over the world, Italy, Colombia, Argentina, Oman, Yemen, Iran, so forth. And I will say that people sometimes don't care about pronunciation. They just want to learn rules or grammar or when to use certain things. But pronunciation is important because some words people cannot understand simply because they're not pronounced correctly. So I felt it was important to take a little bit of time to explain pronunciation and some of the rules and how to know when to say, when to use certain sounds. Okay, so the teachers, some of the teachers. You can use either. It just depends on the context. Okay, so let's do this. Let me turn this back on. My computer keeps going to sleep because I'm not really on it. Okay, so going back to this, how would I write a question, guys? Remember, we're gonna start with do or doesn't, oops, or does, and then we're gonna say the teachers meet. And, or you could say some of the teachers. Either way, it doesn't change the subject. The subject and the do and the does, they always have to agree. It doesn't matter what's here. This isn't important. What's important is, do these agree? So what would you guys choose for this one? Do the teachers meet or does the teachers meet? You guys can write it in the comments. Do the teachers meet? Does the teachers meet? Do, I have one person saying do. What else do you guys think? Do, good. Do the teachers meet? Yes, they do. Good job. All right, let's move on. Now you guys can do an assignment, okay? So we'll have you guys do a quick assignment. Let's do positive, negative, and a question, all right? So I'm going to do this, the students study at night. What would the negative form of this be? You guys can write it in the comments. How would you write this in a negative and a question? So here's the positive affirmation sentence. This is the true statement. The students study at night. So go ahead and write in the comments the negative and the question. How would you guys create a negative sentence? Don't study. Good. Anyone else? The students don't study. Good. Don't. How about a question? How would you create the question? Do the students, do the students, do the students. Good. Do the students. Good. Perfect. Great job, you guys. Oh, someone said, don't the students study? Actually, you can also say that, don't, because this is like do not, which means it's like a backwards way of affirming or confirming a question. Don't the students study at night? Well, yeah, they don't. So, but you wouldn't say does the students. Do the students study at night? Don't the students? You can say both. So that's correct. All right, so I'm gonna do this one. I don't speak Spanish. Actually, I do, but how would you make an affirmative and a question? You guys can write it in the comments. I don't speak Spanish. So what would you write here and here? I speak Spanish. Do I speak Spanish? I do speak Spanish? Yes, good. You can actually say I do speak Spanish, but in this instance, we're going to start it with do. Do I speak Spanish? So, Nora said, I speak, am I speak? So we actually are not going to say, we aren't going to say, am I speak? This is incorrect. We don't want to start, not in this instance, okay? You can ask something like, am I you know, in the United States. But with this, we won't say, am I speak Spanish? We would say, do I speak Spanish? Because it's something that we actually do, not something that we are or a location that we are at. With am, we are going to use it for things like, am I here? Am I awake? It's like a state of being. So in this, we're gonna say, do I speak? Do I speak Spanish? Do you speak English? I speak Spanish. Good, good, good. I speak. Awesome job, everyone. Okay. Let's do one last, hold on. Is, am, are, is following noun, not a verb. Well, yes, because when you're asking a question, and that's a really good question, Mac T. So when you're asking a question, like in this simple present tense, you're gonna form it like this. You're gonna do subject, sorry, not the subject. Hold on. You're gonna do or does plus the subject plus the verb. So the verb is actually gonna come at the very end with this present tense, the simple. Why some people say, I do speak something? Good question. So it's when you say something like that, I do speak Spanish. It is adding emphasis, okay? When you are wanting to emphasize that you do something, you actually, yes, I do speak Spanish. Or you can simply say, I speak Spanish, but this one adds emphasis. I do speak Spanish. I do write, you know, Spanish. I do understand Spanish. It just adds more emphasis. Also, yeah, you don't have to necessarily respond like I speak or I am or I do. This one just adds a lot more to it. Okay, let's do one last one, and this time we're going to start over here at the very end with a question. Okay, do children, oops, let's add this, like to play? So how would you create these two? So the affirmative and the negative. Do children like to play? And kind of going back to what this person just said, you can add the do in there. So go ahead and write it in the comments, guys. Positive affirmation, something true, a habit, something that's habitual or routine, and the negative. And then we'll go over a couple of other things with this. Oh, let's see. Children like to play. Children don't like to play. Good. Good. Good job. Children like and don't like. Great job, everyone. Now, I want to, hold on. Good. Great job, guys. So I want to add something here. When you are using this present simple tense, there are some words that you can use with it that are very useful, and why sometimes children like playing. Okay, so that is called the gerund form, Nora. So when we say something like playing, so children like playing, we have this ing at the end. This is called the gerund or gerund. People pronounce this word differently, gerund, gerund. Okay, so you use this, and in this form it kind of takes the form of the noun, and it becomes the idea of the sentence. So we have the subject And then we have like the interest. So for example, I can say, I like, Nolly, shut the door, please. I like fishing, okay? So this is a hobby or something, excuse me, something that a person does, okay? I like fishing. Now, we can do this in a couple of ways. I like fishing. I like to fish or go fishing. I like to fish. And for those of you who don't know what fishing or to fish is, it's when you catch a fish and then people usually take it and then they eat it for food. It's like a sport, it's a hobby, but then there are some people, thank you, Claire. There are some people who do it, you know, to eat. So there are some people that are fishermen, they do it as a profession. They catch the fish, and then they go fishing or they go to fish. Thank you, Dance Studio. Okay, so that's why. Let me see who asked that question. Oh, Nora. Nora, did I answer your question? I hope that makes more sense. All right. And that's a whole nother lesson in and of itself. So here, guys, I want to teach you a quick thing as well. And this will be really nice because it will add to your vocabulary. It'll make it more robust. It will help you guys to speak more like with a flow and a little more fluently. So with this tense, we can add some adverbs. And what it does is it adds to the routine or the habits. So we will say something, so let's see, we do never, always, sometimes, we have usually, let me see if there are any, frequently, often. Okay, so I think that's most of them. So what we do with these, okay, so we can add to the word. So we'll take the simple present tense, we can add this word. So let's create, oh good, seldom, great. Seldom. We can add to it. So let's say, for example, she is usually late to work. She's usually late to work. She is often late to work. She is always late to work. She's frequently late. I mean, we could use she's sometimes late to work. She's seldom late to work. We can use all of these in this sentence. She is, okay? And it goes with the simple present tense of routine and habit. It is something that you can most likely expect from a person based on routine or habit, something that you often see this person doing or saying. Okay, let's do another example. Sometimes I go to the gym. Sometimes I go to the gym. I always go to the gym. I seldom go to the gym. You can actually switch these two. So you can say, I usually. These are interchangeable, meaning that you can either say, usually I go to the gym, usually I go, I usually go. You can switch. Sometimes I go, I sometimes go. So the subject, can you see this? No, you can't see this down here. Hold on. So the subject and the adverb can be switched. You can put either first, okay? I frequently go to the gym. Actually, frequently I go to the gym. Sounds kind of weird. Sometimes, so actually sometimes I seldom go. Always I go to the gym. You can do it. Actually, some of these are a little bit weird sounding though. Maybe we'll just, maybe we'll just leave it like this. Subject and then the adverb. I don't want to confuse you guys because there are some that you can do it and I'm seeing that some of them it sounds a little bit weird. Let me see your comments. Okay, here we go. I always go to the gym. I never go to the gym. Good. Good, good. I usually go to the gym. I try to go at least like 3 times a week, although I haven't gone in like a week, so it's been a while. Okay, so does anyone have, why don't you guys make a sentence like this with the adverbs. So create your own sentences and write it in the comments, okay? Different things. And let's do like, how about if we do like a plural? My cousins, plural. So my cousins always fight. My cousins always fight. My cousins seldom fight. My cousins never fight. Usually fight, often fight, frequently fight. All right, good. So we only have, actually, I was gonna go into the next lesson. Why don't I do this? Why don't I take some of your questions, preferably about the lesson, because we will have more lessons in the future. Why don't I just actually recap? My cousin go frequently to, good. So Derek wrote, my cousin go to gym frequently. Good. Let's look at this sentence. My cousin. So we need agreement, okay? So let's look at this and let's have the subject and the verb agree with each other. So why don't we're going to add the ES, okay? My cousin goes to, and before this we need the definitive article. We're going to use the definitive article in front of the gym, in front of gym, okay? My cousin goes, we don't say my cousin goes to gym frequently. This, we need the definite article here, okay? My cousin goes to the gym frequently. So great job. Let's see, who wrote that? Derek. Great job, Derek. Okay. Let's see what else we've got. My cousins fight always. Good. My cousins fight always. With this one, just to make it sound and flow a little more naturally, I would put always here. My cousins always fight. It just flows a little more naturally in English. It's how we would generally say this, but it's a great sentence. Yes, you can say seldomly fight, yes. So let's just say my cousins seldomly fight. Yes, you can say it. She always care about her appearance. Good. My cousins fight frequently. Good job. Let's take this one. She always care about her appearance. Okay, good. So we want subject and verb agreement in this one, okay? So we want the verb to agree. So in this case, this would agree with I care, you care, we care, they care, okay? We want her, she, and he, and it, and they. So in this instance, we are going to add cares, S, and it's going to make the Z sound because although it ends with this E, the E is silent, and we're gonna look at this guy, the R. And the R is voiced, as we talked about earlier. It's a voice sound, which means it causes a vibration in our throat. It's a voiced consonant. So because it's a voiced consonant, it will make the Z sound. Cares, cares. She always cares about her appearance. Great job, guys. You guys are doing so wonderful, and I love reading your sentences. You guys are doing awesome. And I love that you guys are participating. This is an excellent way to memorize and repeat and build your English skills. So, she always goes to shopping. She always goes to shopping. Great job. So let's go ahead and take a look at this sentence. So this is good subject. She always goes. Good subject and verb agreements. So that is awesome. Now in this sentence, it's a little bit strange. We actually don't want to use the to before shopping. So we're going to say she always goes shopping. So great sentence. Let's see. Carrie Leem. We just need to take this out, okay? But other than that, the sentence looks really great. Great job. Okay, guys, so let's go ahead and I want to thank you, first of all, for joining the live. For those of you, I hope that you were able to come to this live. I apologize. It was saying that my phone was on lock screen, and it wasn't letting me flip it. And I wanted to make sure you guys could see the whole board. So I apologize for that technical difficulty. Oh, gotta love technology. For those of you who joined this lesson from the Instagram channel or the WhatsApp group, please be in contact with the Play IG Learn English account. Okay, guys? So make sure that you are following them on Instagram. Their Instagram account is Play IG Learn English. They have wonderful material there, so make sure that you're following them. Also, this is one of the best ways to be in touch with them. We have classes scheduled for the next, starting in January. We will go for 12 weeks. We will be covering different topics that will include conversation. It will include grammar, pronunciation, listening, and speaking skills, okay? And we will be doing these lessons twice a week, Mondays and Wednesdays at this time. Also, if you don't follow their Instagram, make sure you follow them. Also, to get in touch with them, please, they have a line. you can contact them online. They also have a WhatsApp group. So if you guys aren't a part of it, please make sure that you reach out to them, meaning call them, send them a text message, send them an email, be in touch with them for these upcoming classes. We will work out all the technical difficulties with the YouTube to make sure that these things don't keep happening, so that we can just start the live, we can go into the lesson without having weird issues. So thanks again, you guys did an amazing job today. I hope that you learned something new. Even if you already were very familiar with this, maybe the pronunciation, the S or the ES, and when to use this, how to use it, how to pronounce it, these types of things, okay? Also, guys, in addition to this lesson, Play IG Learn English also has like a package where it includes like a WhatsApp group with English lessons and different things. So make sure you guys contact them, and I will see you in January. Okay, bye.